Hey, what's going on, guys? In today's video, the try this video for this week, we're gonna be talking about one of my favorite training methods, contrast training, and what it does, how it works, and how you can implement it into your gym routine. Let's get it going. So, what is contrast training? Coach, I have no idea what it is. Please give me the layman's terms. And that's what I'm gonna give you guys. If you want the scientific jargon, go read it on Google. I'll post the links below, some great sites that I go to for all my information. It's all reputable, it's all scientific research and research backed. So, contrast training, ideally, if you're doing it in your program, is doing a heavy load followed by an explosive load. Okay, so generally, it's gonna be ideally, you're gonna do, for instance, a deadlift. We're gonna do 5 reps of a deadlift, you know, anywhere from the 60 to 100% range as far as effort. And then you're gonna come off that and do 2 squat jumps, unloaded. So what that does is that trains what we call post-activation potentiation. So coach, what is post-activation potentiation, you say? Well, ideally what happens is you have a heavy load which increases your contractile proteins, and then also you get a greater increase in your motor neuron activity. So basically you get jacked up. Your muscles inside have this memory bank. They just got done doing a heavy load. They're really tight, they're really excited. You then go do a unloaded or lightly loaded movement and you get a greater power increase. Over the course of time, you train that, you get the training effect of having greater power. So as far as teaching power, teaching explosiveness, post-activation potentiation, you know, as a phenomenon currently, there isn't a total lot of research into it, is a great way to train still. I know personally with my combine training, my elite athletes, I do start implementing contrast training along with tempo training, triphasic training, and etc. So I like to combine a lot of things into one program that I found has been really successful. I do personally train contrast training. If I am doing any sort of heavy lift, I always do that. It benefits me in the longer term. It's easier for me to do. I see greater benefits from it. So that's just something I personally do as far as my main lifts. All right, so who is contrast training for? Well, unfortunately, there isn't a whole lot of research right now as far as who it's best for. But the little research that we have, it has been proven and shown that those athletes with fast twitch fibers will be best benefited by using contrast training. It is also shown that one of the biggest determinants is relative strength. So those people who have, you know, good relative strength, almost at 2 times their body weight in certain lifts, will have the best and most potentiation after exercise. So, is it accurate? It's worth noting, but does it deter you from giving this a shot? Absolutely not. Okay, I don't see why adding another plyometric exercise in order to try and increase your power, no matter what your sport is, will be a bad thing. But if you are a fast twitch fiber athlete, i.e. football, track and field, tennis, you know, things like that, you're gonna be best benefited by this most likely. And also those people with good relative strength. So, sum it up, those people who have really good training experiences, those people who play high level athletics, and those people who may be at a plateau and want to try something new, this might be something you want to throw into your workouts for a period of time. So how do you use contrast training? Well, it's very simple. Obviously there's more that goes into the program as a whole, but at its grassroots, it's a heavy exercise followed by a lightly loaded or unloaded exercise following that. Now, the biggest thing for me is that there's not a whole lot of research as far as setting guidelines on what the best way to get the most potentiation. So what I found to work and what I want to recommend to you guys is pick an exercise, a compound movement, i.e. Cleans, deadlifts, presses, squats, etc. And then pick it in the 3 to 5 rep range at about 80% of your 1 rep max, 80% or higher. What you want to do is you're going to complete those reps, take a step back, gather yourself, then go to your unloaded and try and complete at least the same amount of reps of what you completed beforehand. So for instance, what I want to do is I'm going to hit a 3 rep max for the squat. I'm going to come out, take a short rest, and I'm going to complete 3 squat jumps as high as I possibly can with as much force as I possibly can. I'm then going to make sure I'm at least taking a 3 to 5 minute rest, and I'm going to repeat that. The biggest limiting factor in my opinion is fatigue. Most people train this back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and they're just dead. You want to be in that fully rested state enough to produce the most power possible. That's what we're trying to get after, is produce the most power possible in a short amount of time while the training effect is still there. Now, they say that there's a limited factor as far as how long that potentiation lasts. For most people who are doing this, who are ready for this, coming immediately out of the lift and going into that unloaded lift will be the best way to go. So, as a roundabout, I want to make sure that I'm doing 80% or higher of my 1 rep max for 3 to 5 reps, immediately followed by 3 to 5 reps of an unloaded exercise. I want to make sure I take about 3 to 5 minute rest between sets, and I'm going to repeat for 3 or 4 sets. This is where I'm going to be. That's me. That's my style. It can be completely different. You can find another article of somebody else. With my experience, my training philosophy, my athletes, I found that to be super efficient. And one of the great things about this is that there really is, like I said, I'm going to preach it, there's not a lot of research there yet. There's a lot of great people talking about it and a lot of good results from it so far. So it's something to take note of, is that you can be very creative with this. There's, like I said, you can pick any type of unloaded exercise as long as it's mimicking the correct musculature that you're using and the proper movement. The sky's the limit. You can use any type of accommodating resistance. You can use bands, chains, you can use deadlift followed by trap bar deadlift, squat jumps. You can use all sorts of different things. So play around with it, give it a shot, add this into your program if you're looking for something new. Continue it for about 8 weeks. Right back, let me know how it works, and let me know if your power and explosiveness just skyrockets. Because you've been at that plateau, you've never tried this before, the training effect will hit you guys even harder. But until then, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna show you guys a few of my exercises that I personally love doing, and maybe you can add them into your workouts, and give you guys a little bit of a look at how I train. Let's do it.
I just like the sound of it.
Alright guys, so that's going to do it for this video. Just to kind of recap, we talked about contrast training, we talked about post-activation potentiation, we talked about who it's for and how it can be used. And then I gave you 3 demonstrations of 3 lifts that I like to do and how I use my potentiation for that lift. Just so it's in order here, just in case it gets mixed up. For my deadlift, I love to do a depth jump, vertical jump. So depth box jump into a vertical jump. Lets me get a really good stretch reflex using the depth box jump application into my vertical jump. That's why I use that. I like to use, if you have opportunity to get to a Vertimax, it's great because then you can measure and make sure that you're hitting a certain point every single time so your power output stays high. You can kind of measure it then to see if you're fatiguing or not. If you don't have it, it's okay. Just go to straight vertical jump, give it your best effort, push that ground away from you, explosive hips, reach up and go as high as you can. Make sure you land and absorb it appropriately. For bench press, we did two different things, very similar. We did a 3 rep of just 225, and then we went into either explosive plyometric push-ups for 3, or you can do a band assisted push-up and really get that good concentric force pop at the top using the band. So if you have an opportunity, if you had never tried that, give that one a shot as well. I also threw in 1 set of the trap bar squat jump, just so you can kind of see how I would do it. That can also be used when we're doing our squat, which is the next one. So the squats for 3 reps, and then we followed it up with band assisted jumps. So pretty much you hook up 2 bands to a rack, you grab up high, and then what you're doing is doing a maximum velocity squat jump using the resistance of the band to help you get a little bit more concentric force output to really excite that concentric force. And that's what I'm going after in that jump. You can also use hurdle hops. You can actually use any type of assisted jump that you could possibly want to do. You can use, your imagination's, like I said before, it's the only limit that you have as far as what you can do here. Just making sure that whatever movement you use for the unloaded one is the same exact movement pattern as the one you just used. A lot of words, a lot of things, a lot of stuff. As always, from everybody in OpTic Strength, I want to say thank you guys for all the support, all the retweets, all the shares, all the likes. It really does help us out, and we're looking forward to bringing you guys more content soon. And from myself and everybody, lift big, train smart. We'll see you guys next time.